We have a collection of short stories by Flannery O'Connor, and to be honest, I don't even know how this ended up on my TBR list. I'm assuming it's because someone else recommended it. And after the first story and the language that was used, I was like, maybe I should check out this introduction by Lauren Groff. I read one of her books. I trust her writing and her opinions. She definitely prepped me for what I was about to get into. Flannery O'Connor is a Southern female writer who got started in the 1950s. So context is needed. The things that she had to overcome was definitely males' opinions, but also probably the overwhelming racist sentiments that she was raised with. Another thing that puts into context is that she is very Catholic, and you kind of get it with the stories. The language she uses can definitely be off-putting. So much so that I have to read what Lauren Groff wrote in her introduction. In the end though, I do believe that it's not at all that useful to avoid reading an influential and important author because of her problematic writing, nor is it helpful to run away from a thorough and respectful discussion of racism, both structural and tactic, because of queasiness or guilt or a lack of tools to understand foundational racism and its reverberations. Instead, it should be the work of all of us who live within a profoundly and systematically racist system to open the door, to seek to think about race in as complex a way as we can understand it, to hold respectful and intelligent discussions about it, and to do our best to learn from the understandings of others. Really puts into context the type of stories that we're going to get here. I definitely agree. She's a very talented writer. I can see how her technique probably influences quite a few writers to this day, but the Catholicism, the Southern bits, and the racism, whew, it could definitely be a hard discussion to have. So with that introduction, introducing what we're getting, what did I find within this book? Another way you can describe this collection of stories is American Southern Gothic. It's not traditional horror, but the people that make up the stories are horrifying. It definitely makes you feel uncomfortable in how the white people are depicted and the sharing of their very blatant racist thoughts. This is not a feel-good book. This is definitely one that puts you on the edge, especially with the very first title story, A Good Man is Hard to Find. Did I make the mistake of reading that story while on a road trip through the South? Yes. Did I have to pause and finish the book after I came home? Yeah, I am actually glad that I read it. Of course, my goal is always to read more BIPOC authors, especially when it comes to race, because why are we giving racists the opportunity to keep on spouting out their views? But I did gain something from this collection. I still don't know how I feel. It did make me feel emotions. So there is some type of credit that has to be given to the writing. Have you read any Flannery O'Connor stories? Did you know what you were getting into? Were you better prepared than I was?